Hello everyone, hope everyone is doing well. Let's check the charts a little bit. Recently we saw some positive price action on Bitcoin. We saw a little bit of uptrend. People already getting bullish on this one. However, I'm not saying this is not the end, but I think we're a little bit premature with optimism here. Like just looking at the grand scheme of things, we're still below every resistance, highly above support. Just a slight bounce is not enough for so much optimism, in my opinion. Why I think we had this tiny green candle or two green candles. I think it was just general positivity in the markets. If you look at the S&P, it traded quite strongly. Bitcoin traded less, so that's another sign of weakness in my opinion. So yeah, I don't see strength as of yet. It's Bitcoin pulled back. We had a little bit of consolidation. Now we had slight appreciation in the price, but that's about it. Like I don't see this getting bullish as of yet. I would say the first thing I would be looking at is getting above the first resistance, and I don't even think that's enough. Maybe it's a nice first step. Let me put it that way. It's a nice first step, and I'm definitely not getting bullish before we close back above the 27.4-ish level. That's just not bullish. Even if we go back to around here, and we're not able to close above, that's again a bearish retest, exactly as we had it here. The price even spiked above, but it didn't manage to close above it, and that was a brilliant trigger for a short entry, basically. And people getting really bullish at this area. Like people are cheering, yeah, we're getting back at the highs and so on. So yeah, we have to look at it from a little bit more higher time frame perspective. And if we look at this on a daily view, it doesn't really look bullish, right? It just with consolidation, price went up a little bit. This is a tiny move. Just look at how much smaller it is than the downtrend. So looking at the whole scheme now at the moment, we're still in the downtrend. We broke the uptrend, and we shouldn't be changing bias too quickly unless we have strong evidence. At the moment, my bias is bearish, and it will stay bearish until proven otherwise, which means until we get to a strong support, and I see some strength there. So it's not just the support I'm looking for. This is an area of interest for me, but I also need to see some other signs as well. So if I don't see those other signs, really depends. Like it's not a black and white thing, right? It's not a binary thing. So if I see some strength, I might enter with a small entry. If I see strong strength, I'll be entering with a larger investment. But at the moment, it's not there. It's still bearish. We're still below resistance, and even this resistance is, I would say, just the first sign of some bullishness. So yeah, not bullish yet. And if we're looking at S&P, this looks much better. Just the chart looks much better. Like we had a dump and now we retraced half of it. Yes, we're still basically here, which is like an area of, let me do it like so, something like this, right? Still, this is just a resistance. Until we break this in S&P, I would say it's definitely not bullish, even for S&P, and the chart looks much better. Now with Bitcoin, the chart looks horrific. So yeah, not changing my bias as of yet, until proven otherwise. What I want to show you something is what I'm also looking at. I'm not saying this is like the indicator or anything. It just gives you a little bit more of perspective. Just about the play between Bitcoin and the classic markets, the traditional markets. So this is a chart that plots Bitcoin USD versus the S&P 500. You just enter Bitcoin USD and you divide it by S&P. So it doesn't matter what the numbers here are. It shows you a good how they play against each other, basically. And if you look at it, it definitely looks really similar to the Bitcoin chart, but it has some small differences. So on this one, we're basically below at Bitcoin's top in 2017. So that's not the best thing, right? We also can see that the second top of Bitcoin was lower than the first one. So that was already the lower low, basically. So you can see a lot of different angles here from this perspective, just strength of Bitcoin versus the traditional markets. So I look at, I'm not trading this. I'm just, if I need to see a different perspective, this is a really good way of looking at things. And you can see like the levels are really clear. Just look at it. The recent top was exactly at the previous bottom. If you look at this, and the top in 2017. So it gives you some nice confluences. As I said, like this is not a perfect metric, but it gives you a little bit of different perspective. That's why I really like looking at this, just to confirm my bias and to see how it's working. So the interesting part was like at the recent bottom at around 16K, this was getting really, really bullish, while Bitcoin wasn't as bullish. It was getting up, but it wasn't as bullish as this one. So those kind of things can give you a little bit of edge. I'm not saying this is it's a game changer or anything, but it gives you another data point to look at and to get a little bit more different perspective. And you can see like the top, like you can see this was just walking down. Like this was really strong sign. Okay, there's no strength in Bitcoin anymore. This basically plots strength of Bitcoin versus strength of the traditional markets, basically, which is it's a strong signal in my opinion. And we can also see here, it was showing more strength in my opinion, or not. Okay, this was a little bit less biased, but interesting. I'm just trying to find better examples. Yeah, so it's a nice data point just to confirm your biases, and the levels are really playing out. Just look at this. Such a nice confluence. Yeah, just wanted to show this. Let's check Ethereum for a little bit. Ethereum in a similar position to Bitcoin. In general, how I like to trade, if Bitcoin is showing weakness, I don't think, yes, you can see smaller uptrends in some shitcoins, but in general, it's like picking up pennies in front of the steamroller. So you have to be really careful. It's not an easy play. Even people who are really good at trading can get burnt like that. So in general, if I see weakness and bearishness in the market, in Bitcoin in general, I don't like to play other coins as well. I'm not saying there aren't exceptions, but they're difficult to find, difficult to time, and it's a risky business. On the other hand, when Bitcoin is bullish, you can easily see more upside on Ethereum and even more upside on some other shitcoins. That being said, what I like to see is Bitcoin leading. So Bitcoin is showing some strength while people are bearish, going up, and then people start noticing, okay, Bitcoin is going up now. And at that point, when Bitcoin is showing strength, people start, okay, Bitcoin is going up, but I want to have more. I missed half of the rally now. And then at that point, people start entering altcoins. And at that point, you can see much more upside in altcoins than Bitcoin. But again, it's the game is getting more and more difficult just because the sheer number of altcoins is just, it's difficult to find winners. And you can definitely do it, but you need to invest a lot of time in just monitoring everything. So as I said, I think Ethereum, I'm still bearish as equally as Bitcoin. And as long as Bitcoin is in downtrend, I'm bearish on Ethereum. And even if we're looking at Ethereum versus Bitcoin, this is just trending down. Like this is not bullish at the moment. It might get bullish if the trend line is broken. But at the moment it's in a downtrend. And until this downtrend is broken, it's in a downtrend until proven otherwise. That's just the way I trade. On top of that, could plot something like this. And this is an even longer uptrend, which was also broken some time ago. So yeah, no, I would say I'm even more bearish on Ethereum than on Bitcoin at the moment, until we break this or something changes. I do think Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin at some point, but that point can be much later. It can be in a month, but I don't see it as of yet. I don't see the strength at the moment. So I'll be just patiently waiting. The main plan at the moment is just watching Bitcoin, but watching the ETF news. So if the ETF, the Blackrock ETF gets approved, that could change the narrative. Until then, it's a weird market. So I wouldn't be entering like aggressive shorts at this point. You can, I'm not saying you can't, but it's just, I'm still expecting more downside, but this can change quite quickly. I think half of the move, let's say half, maybe less, maybe more, but already played out. So it's we already lost a lot of that. The best point to enter this would be here. When we broke the range, we closed below, and that's where the sweet spot was. Like you could enter pretty with a low invalidation point basically. Now that invalidation is much higher. Not just this, I think that's not the most representative resistance. It is a resistance, but I wouldn't be placing my stops here. Like this could go up and then we're still basically below the trend line. So yeah, I wouldn't be, this is not the best. I'm not trading at the moment. I'm just waiting for better conditions, either seeing some strength or some levels, Bitcoin price reaching some levels that I'm waiting for. And this is basically 20-ish K or us closing back above this support, resistance, or even higher. Like I'll probably wait a little bit higher just to see a little bit more strength. Also looking at the US dollar, so the dollar strength in general. The dollar has been showing a lot of strength recently. We can still see, we could argue this was broken. Let me check. Yeah. It looks like the trend is breaking at the moment. But you could also put it like this, which changes everything basically. So I'm not, so doing TA on US dollar is stupid in my opinion. I don't know even why I'm doing it. It's easy to see, is it going up or down? At the moment, even if you could argue this is a trend break, it's so steep. Like I don't like when the trend is too steep. You can have a healthy pullback and then continuation. So I really don't want to do this. But just looking at the naked chart, this looks like it's going up. It made a higher high than this. So as long as we have dollar strength in general, that's more of a risk-off scenario, I would say. It's not risk-on. And as long as it's not risk-on, it's not the best environment for Bitcoin in general. So another data point to be looking at. What else? I think this is it for today. Just to reiterate, I wouldn't be trading this now. If you still have like leveraged long exposure, I would be de-risking, even though you lost a little bit already. But I would be still de-risking. Like, I'm more bearish than bullish at the moment, definitely. So yeah, that's just my advice to everyone. Okay, I hope my streams are helping you people. I'm trying to give my best. I'm not saying I know everything, but I'm just sharing my thoughts here. And I hope if you like it, just please like it and subscribe. This will really help me. So yeah, I'll be back soon with more updates. And if we see bigger price movements, I'll do an update even sooner. So thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.